India is a tough nut to crack. Well, that's USTR Jamieson Greer who's made that statement. This was, remember, even as in India and the United States have been engaged to wrap up trade talks in Washington. Remember, this was a fresh round of talks that happened, and of course that has gotten concluded. And now we do understand from government sources who are suggesting that negotiators are on their way back home, way back to India after wrapping up these 3 days of talks with counterparts from the United States. In fact, this visit was undertaken by India's chief negotiator as far as India-US trade talks are concerned, Darpan Jain, along with his team. So what could really be expected and anticipated to have happened in the United States? A, the fact that what is the new trade architecture that India should be working with, other nations should be working with? What is going to be the new quantum of tariffs, given the fact that Section 232 tariffs, which were slapped by President Donald Trump, announced by President Donald Trump as 10%, they are applicable globally. Once they get over, what's going to happen? In fact, we are also given to understand from government sources that there were expectations that perhaps not just the new trade architecture, but on the quantum of tariff reduction that India could expect on when the signing of the agreement could happen, and of course a legal agreement. The main aspect was framing of a legal agreement, because remember when the interim trade deal that was agreed upon by both the sides in the form of a joint statement, that perhaps was not really valid, because IEEPA tariffs, they were struck down by the United States Supreme Court, and that deal was struck under IEEPA tariffs. So, of course, a lot of aspects needed clarity. The Indian government side perhaps also asked on what's going to happen as far as investigations under, Section 301, for instance, are concerned. So, of course, clarity on all of those aspects is needed. We haven't really heard anything from the Indian side officially as yet as to what were these talks were around. But, of course, this round of negotiations has gotten over, and now negotiators are on their way back to India.